What electric vehicles mean for your wallet. Electric vehicles are everywhere right now. You see them on highways, in parking lots, and in commercials promising a cleaner, cheaper, and smarter future. But beyond the hype, beyond the sleek designs and quiet motors, there's one question that matters more than anything else for most people. What do electric vehicles actually mean for your wallet? Are they really cheaper in the long run? Are you paying more just to be green? Or are EVs quietly becoming one of the smartest financial decisions you can make? Today, we're breaking it all down. No confusing jargon, no exaggerated promises, just real-world costs, real savings, and the honest financial impact of owning an electric vehicle. Let's start from the beginning. For decades, buying a car followed a familiar formula. You compared sticker prices, fuel efficiency, maintenance costs, and resale value. Gasoline was a fixed part of the equation. But electric vehicles completely change that equation. They don't just replace the engine, they change how, when, and how much you pay to move. And that's why understanding EVs is no longer optional. Whether you plan to buy one next year, 5 years from now, or never at all, electric vehicles are already influencing fuel prices, insurance markets, government policy, and even electricity bills. In other words, EVs are affecting your wallet whether you own one or not. So let's talk money. The first thing most people notice about electric vehicles is the price tag. On the surface, EVs often look more expensive than comparable gas-powered cars. A mid-size electric SUV may cost several $1,000s more than a similar gas model. This sticker shock alone stops many buyers before they look any deeper. But the sticker price is only one piece of the puzzle. Electric vehicles cost more upfront primarily because of battery technology. The battery is the most expensive component in an EV. While battery prices have dropped dramatically over the past decade, they still represent a significant portion of the vehicle's cost. Manufacturers are also still scaling production, and newer technology almost always costs more in its early stages. However, what matters financially is not just how much you pay on day one, but how much you spend over the life of the vehicle. And this is where the conversation starts to change. Governments around the world have stepped in to accelerate EV adoption, and that directly impacts your wallet. In many regions, buying an electric vehicle qualifies you for tax credits, rebates, and incentives that can reduce the effective purchase price by thousands of dollars. In some cases, these incentives bring the real cost of an EV close to, or even below, that of a gas-powered car. These incentives are not permanent. They change frequently, and some are phased out as manufacturers hit sales targets or as policies evolve. That means timing matters. Two people buying the same EV in different years could end up paying very different prices. But even without incentives, the upfront cost is only the beginning. The real financial story of electric vehicles unfolds over time, starting with fuel. Fuel is one of the biggest ongoing expenses of owning a car. Gasoline prices rise and fall, sometimes dramatically. Global events, supply disruptions, and political decisions can cause prices to spike overnight. For gas car owners, this volatility means unpredictable monthly costs. Electric vehicles operate on electricity, and electricity prices are far more stable than gasoline. On average, driving an electric vehicle costs significantly less per mile than driving a gas-powered car. When you charge at home, especially during off-peak hours, the cost per mile can be a fraction of what you would pay at the pump. To put it into perspective, many EV owners find that their monthly charging costs are less than what they used to spend on gas each week. Over the course of a year, that difference can amount to hundreds or even thousands of dollars. And if you drive a lot, the savings grow even faster. High-mileage drivers feel the financial benefits of electric vehicles more strongly than almost anyone else. Delivery drivers, rideshare drivers, and long-distance commuters often see their operating costs drop dramatically after switching to electric. Fuel savings alone can eventually offset the higher upfront cost of an EV. But fuel is not the only area where electric vehicles reduce expenses. Maintenance is another major factor that quietly drains wallets over time. Traditional gas cars are mechanical machines with hundreds of moving parts. Engines need oil changes. Transmissions need servicing. Exhaust systems wear out. Spark plugs fail. Timing belts snap. These costs add up slowly, often unnoticed until a large repair bill arrives. Electric vehicles are mechanically simpler. They don't require oil changes. They don't have complex transmissions. They don't have exhaust systems. The electric motor has far fewer moving parts than a combustion engine, which means fewer things can go wrong. One of the biggest maintenance advantages of EVs comes from regenerative braking. Instead of relying solely on friction brakes, electric vehicles use the motor to slow the car and recharge the battery. This significantly reduces brake wear, meaning brake pads and rotors last much longer than they do on gas cars. Over the lifetime of the vehicle, these maintenance savings can be substantial. Many studies estimate that EV owners save several $1,000s in maintenance compared to gas car owners. And unlike fuel prices, these savings are predictable and consistent. But what about the battery? This is often the biggest concern for potential EV buyers. Batteries do degrade over time. That's a fact. But modern electric vehicle batteries are far more durable than early models. Most manufacturers offer long battery warranties, often covering 8 years or more. Real-world data shows that many EV batteries retain the majority of their capacity well beyond that period. Battery replacement is expensive, but it is far less common than many people assume. For most owners, the battery lasts the usable life of the vehicle, and as battery technology improves, replacement costs continue to fall. Resale value is another part of the financial picture. Early electric vehicles depreciated quickly, partly because of limited range and uncertainty about battery life. Today, the used EV market is much stronger. Demand for affordable electric vehicles is rising, especially as gas prices fluctuate and charging infrastructure expands. EVs with longer range and strong brand reputations tend to hold their value better. Battery health plays a role, but advances in battery management systems have made degradation more predictable and less severe. Insurance is one area where electric vehicles can sometimes cost more, at least initially. EVs can be more expensive to repair due to specialized parts and labor. Battery-related repairs, while rare, can be costly. These factors can raise insurance premiums for certain models. However, this gap is narrowing. As electric vehicles become more common, insurers are gaining better data, repair networks are expanding, and competition is driving prices down. Some insurers even offer discounts for electric vehicles due to their safety features and lower accident rates in certain models. Charging infrastructure also plays a role in overall cost. Most EV owners do the majority of their charging at home. Home charging is convenient and typically the cheapest option. Installing a home charger does involve an upfront cost, but many people can charge using a standard outlet, especially if they drive moderate distances. Public charging, especially fast charging, is more expensive than home charging. However, most drivers only rely on fast chargers occasionally, such as during road trips. Even then, the overall cost often remains competitive with gasoline, particularly when considering the savings from home charging. The financial impact of electric vehicles becomes even clearer when you look at long-term ownership. Over 10 years, a gas car owner pays for fuel, oil changes, engine maintenance, and often unexpected repairs. An EV owner, on the other hand, benefits from lower fuel costs, reduced maintenance, and more predictable expenses. When total cost of ownership is calculated, many electric vehicles come out ahead, even when they cost more up front. This is especially true as fuel prices rise and battery costs continue to fall. Looking ahead, the financial case for EVs is likely to become even stronger. Battery technology is improving rapidly. Manufacturing scale is increasing. Charging networks are expanding. Governments continue to push policies that favor electric transportation. All of these trends point toward lower costs for consumers over time. Of course, electric vehicles are not the perfect solution for everyone. Your driving habits, access to charging, local electricity rates, and available incentives all matter. For some people, a gas or hybrid vehicle may still make more financial sense in the short term. But the gap is closing fast. Electric vehicles are no longer just a luxury or a statement. They are becoming a practical financial choice for a growing number of drivers. They change how you spend money on transportation, shifting costs from volatile fuel prices and frequent maintenance toward more stable and predictable expenses. So what do electric vehicles mean for your wallet? They mean fewer trips to the gas station. They mean lower routine maintenance. They mean higher upfront costs, but often lower long-term spending. They mean more control over your transportation budget. And most importantly, they mean that the way we think about the cost of owning a car is changing. The decision to go electric is no longer just about the environment or technology. It's about economics. It's about where your money goes, how much control you have over your expenses, and how future-proof your transportation choices are. Whether you choose an electric vehicle today or years from now, one thing is clear. Electric vehicles are reshaping the financial landscape of driving, and your wallet will feel the difference.